Welcome to Episode 7 of the Growing Our Future in Weakley County Schools podcast, Voices of Gratitude, Education Edition, brought to you by the Sonics of Weakley County. This podcast is a production of Weakley County Schools in partnership with Forever Communications. I'm Megan Jolly, Director of Communications, and today we're diving into the heart of the school system to hear stories from our educators, students, and staff that span from moments of connection and kindness to the everyday acts that make our school a place of growth and support. I can't wait for you to hear these stories as we take an inside look into the work and successes taking place in our schools, reminding us why student schools are so much more than just classrooms. I know this will be a heartwarming episode. Let's get started. Okay, we are ready with our first group. We have Miss Patricia Rogers, principal at Martin Elementary School, Miss Caitlin Tucker, speech language pathologist at Sharon School and Martin Middle School. Miss Lauren Mitchell, speech language pathologist at Gleason School and Greenfield School, and Miss Bobby Lipscomb, educational assistant at Gleason Schools. So my first question is for Miss Patricia. Can you share a moment that has made you grateful to be in education?
I don't know that it is a moment. I think it's a mixture of moments.
Sure.
With working over 34 years in education, we've seen it go from the chalkboard to dry expo markers, dry erase boards, to panels. Our facilities have had upgrades. So there's so many things that our system does for our students to grow. But as far as moments, I think it's the moment when you're in the classroom and you have a student that's struggling and they're working hard, and it's the moment you see the light bulb go off and how excited they are. Or it's when you're in the community and they see you in a store and they're so surprised that you actually shop too, and they come up and they give you a hug. Or when they've graduated and they come back and introduce their new child or want to show you their new baby. Those are the times that it just makes me feel good that I've been a part of their life and hopefully made a difference.
That is so true. That is so true and so good. And Miss Caitlin, who in your school system would you like to say thank you to?
There are several people that I'm thankful for, but I think there are two women that I'm the most thankful for, and that is our administration at Sharon School, Miss Michelle Clements and Miss Beth Davidson. They just really kind of cultivate a positive school environment, very loving environment for both teachers and kids at our school, and they're always inspiring us, I know myself, to want to further our education in our field, really think outside of the box, to just really help our students grow, and just to help us grow in our field too, so that we can help our students. So.
That's awesome and so true. So true. They are so good. Ms. Lauren,
Yes.
Is there a practice or tradition within your school or profession that you're thankful for?
Sure. Each morning, Miss Jamie encourages us to do things the Jacket way. So she'll say, use integrity, respect, and unity today. And just thinking what I'm most thankful for in our school, I think the unity piece is most important. We have a pre-K through 12 school, and so we have a lot of opportunities throughout the year where we can unite and come together. We have learning opportunities for students that are in elementary, junior high, and high school. We celebrate accomplishments. We stick together when things are difficult, and it's just neat to see the older students and younger students coming together, and they really get something out of it both ways. We think sometimes the younger kids look up to the older students, but really it goes both ways. And I think that's so important to create a positive environment in our school setting, and then also just to help them become successful members of the community one day, to work together. So I'm most appreciative for that.
Yes, I love that. Miss Bobby, can you share a moment that has made you grateful to be in education?
Yes, there's so many. It's really hard to narrow it down to one moment. And first of all, I'll say I get to greet the kids into the school in the mornings. And I think that's the best part of it, because when they get off the bus, when they come into school, they have all these expressions on their face, and, and there's always, I'm like, hey, you got this. Good morning, and I think that means a lot. They're like, hey, Miss Bobby. And so, we work, we have reading programs, RTI programs, and excuse my voice, and Miss Paige Vaughn, she's amazing. In our reading groups, we're able to work with the students individually, and we'll have maybe 5 in a group at a time, and narrow it down to where they can get what they need in the reading programs. And I'm so thankful for my coworkers. I'm thankful for Miss Monica Rollins, Miss Paige Vaughn, like I said, Nurse Jeanette. We have a lot of special people in our school, and at Gleason, it's more like a community thing. We get involved in so much, and it's a great thing, to be able to work with the kids, and yes.
I love that. I love that. I think one thing that I really love that I heard from what you said is that it sounds like working to meet the students where they are, and greeting them in the mornings, and just them seeing that positive face as soon as they get there. Then they're ready to learn, and working with them in their groups to see where they are. And I think that is something that we are all certainly so grateful for.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Just letting them know that, you're there for them. And, it's just, it is. It's just a lot to be thankful for. And like I said, it's so much, I can't even.
It's hard to narrow it down.
Yes, but it's just a great place to be. And there's several things that we have going on. And let's see, something, for example, we had the Tater Town Throwdown. It was the wrestling. Yeah. And I was involved in it, and it turned out really well, and I can go anywhere out in the community, and, it just brightens the day of people and the kids.
Yes.
It gives them something to really, really, and so I'm altogether just proud.
It's an easy thing to be proud of. Absolutely.
And I'm like you with the morning. That is one of my favorite times of the day, is getting to greet them in the mornings. And except I'm a morning person, a lot of the kids when they get out are not. But it's just starting on a positive. I think that's so important. We've got a new program that we're doing this year in our school-wide, is starting on the same page, hearing the same message every morning. And we have just seen so many positive things come from it. And I think you have to start the day off right.
Setting that tone. Setting that tone. Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for being here. And I am certainly so grateful for all of you and the work that you do. And thank you all for being here.
Well, thank
you for having us.
Thank you.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
Did you know your new favorite burger has hand-smashed patties made to order, hot and melty cheese, and a tangy sauce? How rude of me. Let me introduce you. Try the all-new Double Sonic Smasher and at a half-price drink in the app.
And we are back with our second group. We have Miss Angie Rushing, our Grants and Special Projects Director for the district. We have Miss Christy Parsley, who teaches ELA and Social Studies at Sharon Schools. We have Dax Rainey and Addie Newton, who are here from Dresden Middle School Beta Club. So first, we want to ask Miss Angie, who in your school system would you like to say thank you to, and why?
Okay, so I want to say that I am very thankful to live in a community where we value our community schools, because I think that we are so fortunate to be able to go to school and send our kids to school in a school where you know your teachers know you, and your principal knows you, and you know your principal, and you feel like, it's almost like a family rather than your boss or your principal type thing. So I am very thankful for our community that lets us keep our small schools, and I think that's what I'm most thankful for. We've got some great principals, great teachers.
Yes.
And they do a great job with our students. And I feel very thankful that I've been able to teach in 2 schools, I taught at Dresden High School for 10 years, and then I taught at Westview for 17. And then I got to come up here, and being in this role, I'm the grants director, and so I get to go into each school and see what a great job each school does. And for instance, Dresden Middle School, y'all do a great job with your Lion's Den store, and it is just a real blessing. And I'm looking forward to going to Sharon School and helping wrap at y'all's Christmas store. When I walk in over at Sharon, it's like walking into a winter wonderland. Y'all have done a great job with
they've gone a little
with
extra
that.
this year,
And I think our schools just do a wonderful job of getting to know our kids and their needs, and we meet those needs.
Our communities are such a strength. They are. They really are such a strength, and we are so grateful for them. That's a great point. It is. Miss Christie, can you share a moment that has made you grateful to be in education?
Well, I'm going to, as Patrice started, it's hard to pick out one moment. Obviously, I haven't been in education. I went back later in life, so this is only my 10th year in education. And I was thinking about all the moments, and I think the biggest thing that I think of is the relationships that I've made, not only with kids, but with my fellow teachers and everybody around the county. But I do have one moment, and I know the exact date. It was May 19th, 2021. And I was at recess, and Miss Tori Shepard had her 7th graders, so this has been 3 years since I'd had these kids, had written letters to teachers to show their appreciation. And so I had 2 kids come walking down. I thought, what's Josh and Destiny doing, And they hand me these letters, and they folded up pieces of paper. And to this day, they are in my middle desk drawer, laying right and they're there. I opened my drawer as soon as I thought, this is the moment. And I didn't even read the letters. I got teary. They sat down beside me. We read the letters. We're all crying. And I think at that moment for me, it was like, okay, this is why I'm in education. And I had questioned, we always question, are my kids going to be successful? Or am I giving my kids what I need? Is this what I need to be doing with my life? And at that moment for me, that was like, I'm making an impact on these kids. These kids 3 years later that are in 7th grade have written their letter to me. And it wasn't necessarily their academic successes. It was the relationship that we had built in the classroom, the things we had done in the classroom. And I remember Destiny was like, that was her first year at Sharon, and it was like I had made an impact and that I had pushed her to be her best. And yes, I push academics, but it's all about building those relationships. And that's what I'm most grateful for as far as why I'm in education. And what makes it so special is, I think Joshua is a junior this year at Westview, but a few months later, Destiny had lost her life in the tragic accident at Sharon. And so I remember the day that happened, pulled my drawer out, I grabbed my letter, read it, and so it was like, okay, even though she's not here anymore, I know for a fact that I made an impact on her life. And so those relationships that we build in education, that's what I'm most grateful for.
Absolutely.
That is everything. Those relationships are so important to not only as they go into their academics, but just as they go into life in general, and the difference that our students or our teachers make in our students' lives and the staff. It's unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Dax, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there a certain teacher or organization that you're thankful for within your school?
I'm thankful that kids and we have the opportunity to run and represent Dresden Middle School running cross country. And I know that we all make friends down the road and get to travel together, and it's just a really fun time that they've allowed us to have.
Yes. So you have been running this year.
Mm-hmm.
What's your time?
For what? There's different types of.
Oh, well then tell
stuff
me.
that we
Yeah,
run.
tell me about your time. Tell me which kinds you run. I don't know much about cross country.
Well, I mean, for a mile, I can probably run 5:51.
Oh, good grief.
5 minutes 51 seconds.
That's
pretty
way faster than I can
Me
run.
too,
So
Dax.
we
Me
can-
too.
Yeah. So that tells me all I need to know about that. Yes, that's wonderful.
But then I know there's a lot of other people that can on our team that's just like that, and even faster. So
That's awesome.
it's really fun that we have the opportunity to show off our skills in that.
Yes. And you get to grow together as a team and individually, and that's wonderful.
Yep.
I love what cross country. I love what Wendy and Todd they have done with that whole cross country at Dresden.
It's a great
It is, yeah. It really
Yes.
really has,
It
yeah.
is. We're very
Also,
fortunate for them.
Coach Kenneth Coker, also, he's the middle school coach. He's our
Yeah.
middle school coach, and we're
He
all
works
thankful
so
for
well.
him in the middle school.
Yeah, they've done a great job with that program.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Addie, what tradition or event at your school are you the most thankful for, and why?
I'm most thankful for our Thanksgiving lunch. That
That's
is
a
a
big
tradition we've done even through elementary school.
Yes.
And I feel like it's a special little thing, like for maybe a kid who doesn't always get to have that Thanksgiving meal.
That
and it's
tradition.
delicious, by the way.
And it is delicious. Shout
But
out to
it's
that
just
nutrition, yes.
It's like just a great thing to have at our school. And like us, the elementary gets to have their parents over.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like the school saying, hey, we're a family. We get to have Thanksgiving together.
And you're getting to build that
Yeah.
community within your school and your friends and getting to share that meal with them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is a great thing to be thankful for.
Thank you.
That it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. That is such a
And
good
it was
answer.
good,
Yes.
yeah.
And now I'm kind of hungry, if I'm being honest. But yes, so thank you guys so much for being here. I am again so thankful to all of you for being here and the work that you do. And thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Delicious-ment.
Did you know your new favorite burger has hand-smashed patties made to order, hot and melty cheese, and a tangy sauce? How rude of me. Let me introduce you. Try the all-new Double Sonic Smasher and at a half-price drink in the app.
We are excited to hear from another group of our people, and we have Mr. John Lifsey, principal at Martin Middle School, Mr. Jonathan Shepard, high school Spanish at Greenfield and Gleason, Miss Lindsay Jackson, Gleason school secretary, and Mr. Bill Ellis, a bus driver for Gleason and Sharon. Thank you guys so much for being here. I cannot wait to hear your stories, and I appreciate you so much for taking the time to be here. Mr. John, you're first. Who in your school system would you like to say thank you to and why?
I'm grateful for a lot of things in my school system. I have an extensive list, but I'm going to try to make it short for you. First, I'd like to start off with my faculty and staff. They work tirelessly every day to build connections with our students. They provide an engaging and supportive classroom environment. And as Miss Lindsay can attest, my office staff, I appreciate and grateful for their organizational skills, their willingness to assist students, parents, and staff every day. My SRO, Jimmy Brown, Officer Jimmy Brown, his number one priority every day is to provide a safe environment for our students. And also he's a selfless man who is committed to our school. And I'm grateful for him. Our Martin community, which I'm sure all communities in Weakley County are about the same, for their support and them just ensuring that we have a safe area to raise and educate our children. Weakley County office staff, Weakley County Central office staff, for their unwavering support and them allowing all 10 schools to be unique and individualized school. And it's kind of amazing how all these aspects come together to just make our school community just a great place to be.
I could not agree more. I think the uniqueness of our schools is awesome and something that we're so proud
And that's
of.
something that central office does allow, because they know that Martin's not the same as Gleason.
Sure.
So they allow all of us to be unique.
And that's a strength. That is a strength
I
of
agree.
our school system. I really agree with that. Mr. Jonathan, can you share a moment that has made you grateful to be in education?
Yes, ma'am. First, thank you for having me here. I'm so
Thank
grateful
you
to
so
be
much
here.
for being here.
My throat's a little dry. I really would like a little bit of John's Sonic drink.
I can give you a drink.
Very
Quality products at an affordable price.
Let's go. Very good.
Perfect.
Very good.
Perfection.
Something I'm grateful for. Do you have a minute?
I have all the minutes in the world. Please.
So it goes
please
back to before I was in education. When I got out of school, I didn't start directly in education. And I went into the workforce, and I found myself, I was a young father, and my daughter, I noticed that I was working late, and I wasn't getting to spend as much time with as I wanted to. There's just a lot of parents know that feeling. And I remember I prayed one night and I said, Lord, I want a job where I can spend as much time with my daughter as possible. I was like, what is that job where I can spend as much time as possible? And as we often do, I kind of forgot about that and got into the workforce. Well, years later, I had the opportunity to get into teaching. I knew Spanish, and I got into teaching and met my wife there in the educational arena. And what I noticed happened is throughout the year, of course, my daughter would go to work with me every day. And I had the opportunity of seeing her growing up and having that opportunity of spending time with her. And then, of course, my wife and I were on the same schedule. So it's kind of a selfish reason, but I look back the other day, I'd kind of forgot. And I looked back and I thought to myself, God answered that prayer. I was like, when I prayed that, I didn't think about it at that time, but He gave me exactly what I asked for. So I've been blessed with the opportunity to get to grow up with my family, to get to see her grow up, to spend time with my wife, for us to be on the same schedule. And having said that, also, it kind of helps me to remember that those are other people's children at school. It helps keep that present in my mind, like, these young people that I spend this time around, that's someone else's son, someone else's daughter that they entrust to us. So I'm very thankful for that, for really the time it's allowed me to spend with my family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And families are so important in our schools.
Oh, yeah.
And that is great. That's awesome.
Very good.
That's awesome. That's such an awesome answer. Miss Lindsay, is there a practice or tradition within your school that you're thankful for?
I am thankful for a lot of things. Like you said, I'm a secretary at Gleason School, and I am thankful that we are still pre-K through 12. Just like Jonathan said, that, we are unique by being pre-K through 12. And I know, like, when we go places, my kids are asked, where do you go to school? And they'll say, well, we go to Gleason School. And they say, well, tell us about your school. And like my daughter, she was a senior last year, and she'll say, well, I had a very small class last year, but my sister was in 5th grade. And like, I remember one memory that she says from there that like we, a tradition that we do is we line up the halls on graduation day, and they walk the halls for the last, their last walk. And I remember watching from secretary position, watching my 5th grader see her sister, which was a senior, walk the hall for the last time, and how that was so unique because she knew that one day she's going to be walking down that same hall. And, that's the same hall I graduated. I walked that same hall, and my dad walked that same hall. That's just a tradition for our family, for in general, and also our school, that we're pre-K through 12.
And I think that is so important in, they start in the beginning and they know, this is something that we're working towards, and like one day that's going to get to be me.
They don't have to learn a new school. We're still there. They know where the high school is.
They're comfortable. They're familiar. It takes out a little bit of that uncertainty when they're coming in and trying to learn new routines. They're comfortable with it.
And then on the secretary part of that, they're able to make one phone call to me, to take care of the kindergartner or the first grader or a high school student. They can make one phone call. I'm able to get to their teachers, tell them exactly where they're supposed to go. If there's an emergency in the day, that I can take care of that one phone call.
I think that's awesome. I think that there are so many different strengths of all of our schools that we are so fortunate to like Mr. John said, get to highlight and work with these students on. I think it's great. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Bill, can you share a moment that has made you grateful to be in education?
Yes. Of course, we all like to go eat at Sonic all the time, so it's always a good thing to do. But one thing is great is as a school bus driver, we're the first to see the student each morning. And Jesus has told us that we are the light of the world. So in a dark world that we live in today, how we can shine at the very beginning of their day. We can make their day a great day, or we can make their day a very bad day.
Amen.
So it's so important that we as bus drivers, and we got over 40-some bus drivers in our county, and 50 plus all that help with the mechanics and everything that go on, and making sure we're able to run and pick up our children and get them safely delivered to the schools or school that they attend, and just to see a smiling face, because we see where they live at and how things could be bad or it could be good. and just to be thankful, show gratitude and appreciation
Yes.
for just giving us life, being able to talk to the students each day.
I think that is so important. Just starting them off on such a good tone and letting them, go into school happy and ready. And I think that is such an important part of their day.
Yes,
and I'm
ma'am.
so thankful that you see that the same way. It's so important. It is. So I do want to say something to what you said. I understand your prayer. That was answered a little bit differently. So I actually am new here. I just started here, and so I don't have a background in education, so I understand that too. And one thing that I have been extremely grateful for is getting to be a part of the school system that is going to raise my kids, or not raise my kids, but it's going to educate my kids. And getting to shine such a spotlight on the amazing things that they do. And I think that is something that we can all be so grateful for is getting to spend more time with our kids and getting to be a part of their education and being able to know that our kids are in great hands and they are learning the best that there is to learn and having such amazing people who are building their day every day so intentionally and able to just start them off on good notes and care about them and want them to do the best and realize their strengths. And for that, I am just very grateful to all of you.
I think that's so kind.
good.
We're glad to have you.
Glad to have you.
Thank you. So again, thank you all so much for being here, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today for this special episode. A huge thank you to all of our guests for their stories and the important work that they do. Remember, you can catch us on demand on Google Podcast, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Please be sure to follow us to hear more meaningful discussions about education on the Growing Our Future in Weakley County Schools podcast.